Well, hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome to When Wisdom Talks. I'm Alisha.
And I'm Kadesha.
And I'm Naomi, and the party just keeps going and going and going. And we are still continuing our New Year's celebration. 2022, a new year, and certainly we are so happy that we are here. Another Thursday with When Wisdom Talks, and the three of us who are your host for the evening. And thank you again for joining us. Each of you who join us every week, we thank you. And for all of our newcomers, oh, y'all know y'all get all the love. Thank you for joining us. And make sure that you leave a comment in the comments and in the chat to let us know if you are a newcomer so we can give you a shout out. But of course, every episode we have an amazing show planned, and Kadesha always does a fabulous job of letting us know what our plan is for this evening. But we cannot continue without letting you know what our mission is, and it is to empower you, yes, all of you, to live better and wiser through engaging discussions, fun activities, and inspiring special guest interviews like the one we have planned for you tonight. And so, with that, I am going to pass it on over to my girl, Kadesha.
Can I first tell you that when you did this, you totally look like your daughter, or your daughter looked like you.
My twinsy,
Your
yes.
twinsy. I'm like, wait, is that Lily or is that Naomi? I'm confused.
When I wear my glasses, that's when you really can tell. And y'all pray this earring stay on for the rest of the evening.
Honey, look, what we've already been through. Look, we can get through the one earring missing, okay?
Hello.
We'll get through that. But no, we're excited. We are on, get us in check, Alisha. Are we on the second week of January? I can't keep up. But we're second week in January, and we are marching our way to our 1 year anniversary. So we're very excited about that. I believe it was February 4th that we started last year. So it's been a blessing, and we're glad that you've been on this journey with us. But if you've been watching us, you know that every month we have a theme. And so this month theme is Plan for Success. And so this week specifically, though, Naomi has given us Blessed for Success. And so we have a phenomenal special guest. I know we say that every week, but we do. I feel like we're just super blessed to have really good connections. So, but even more so tonight, we have a special guest, and we're honoring those who are in law enforcement because of the National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day falls in this month. And so we have a beautiful woman, a beautiful soul who has served, yes, past tense, she is happily retired, but served 28 years in law enforcement. And so we're going to be bringing her on. And we hope that highlighting her, you will recognize that you can be a minority in a profession or be a minority in a specific industry and still be successful. And so, what I know we've all heard it before, but it's like what's for you is for you. And I do believe that when God has an open door for you, like, and has a seat at the table for you, there's nothing that can get in the way. And when I read some of her bio, you'll see that she just kept being elevated and elevated. And to me, that just shows that the hand of God is on her life. So I'm very excited to hear a little bit more about her story. But also, we want to just show you positivity as it relates to law enforcement. You know, we're doing our small piece, our part in trying to bridge that gap with our community and law enforcement. So nonetheless, we're in for a treat. So we have some wisdom nuggets and all that jazz for you. We'll get there. But before we get into the show, I have to ask you to do us a favor. Go ahead and follow us if you're not following us already on Instagram at When Wisdom Talks. If you're not following us on Facebook, or if you're not subscribed to our YouTube page, go ahead and subscribe to When Wisdom Talks. We also want to remind you that we are empowering you 3 times a week, honey. So by the time we get to Thursday, this is our third stop. So Monday nights, we have a pop-up prayer call at 6:30 p.m. Wednesday morning, we have an empowerment prayer call at 6 a.m. where we are serving you Bible for breakfast. And then, of course, every Thursday, we are here 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to know any more about our nonprofit, Wisdom on the Wall, Inc., you can visit our website, wisdomonthewall.com. If you want to connect with us and get in contact with us, if you want to invite us out for a special speaking engagement, if you need a prayer request, if you want to submit a prayer request, you can do so at info@wisdomonthewall.com. Well, I think I touched everything, just about. So I'm going to send it right on over to my girl, Alisha.
Awesome. Thank you much, Kadesha. Well, for those of you who've been around, you know what time it is. This is Girl, What's Your Story with a Twist. This is the time where we get to just share a little bit about what we've been doing over this past week. Again, something we may have done for the first time, something we enjoy, something that made us smile, something that made us just happy with life, with whatever may be going on in our world. But the twist is that it all goes back to you all. And the twist is that while we're sharing, we want you to share as well. So please utilize that chat. Type away, let us know what you've been up to. And especially if you've done something different, we're always looking for something new and fresh. So again, you never know. We may be here one week sharing something that you did that we actually tried. So I'll go ahead and kick us off. And I know I'm probably not the only one, but this has been one of those weeks when it feels like there were so many plates, yes, that you're trying to handle at one time. And by the time it came to this morning, it was kind of like, Jesus, take the wheel again and again. And I shared last week this book I've been feasting off of, Woman to Woman by Joyce Meyer. I can't tell you how this book has been giving me life. I said it gave me life last week. It then gave me life again today. And I mean, it's just, God is so intentional how he will bring exactly what you need at that moment. So this morning, the devotional, and the great thing about this book, first and foremost, is that each piece that she talks about 80 or so topics, and each one is maybe a page and a half. So it's really quick, but it's impactful. And today, let me tell you, I had to put it aside. So today was entitled De-stress and avoid distress. De-stress, DE-stress, and avoid distress, DISTRESS. And again, when you try to juggle all these little plates, you get a feeling of like, okay, something's about to happen. One of these plates about to fall. So this came at perfect time. And I just want to share a few little things that came out, because I know it's not just the three of us who had our hand up. Some of you probably have your hand up as well. And she just has some words of wisdom, just pointing out the fact that we're all going to deal with stress in some way. But the beautiful thing is how we're going to handle it. So she says stress can be mental. It could be emotional. It could be physical in terms of tension. It could be strain. It could be that distress piece that we were talking about. And she says we all have stress in one form or another. And the bottom line is daily stress can't be avoided. But at the end of the day, she says we all need some quiet time to rest and rejuvenate. And when I read that, it was like, bingo, that was the missing piece. Not really taking the time to really rest, truly rest and rejuvenate for the next day of spinning those plates. But she says that we have to realize that proper rest and quiet time are vital to rebuilding the energies that have been expended. So what is it? Energy out, energy in. So we have to make sure we replenish it. But she pointed out the fact that even God rested from his labor after 6 days of creation work, she called it. So one thing she points out is that we can handle normal stress, but when things get out of balance, we sacrifice our good health. And she says in today's world, and we all could probably agree with this, we could probably think of people, but she said in today's world, more people feel bad than good. And I don't know how many times you can ask somebody how you're doing, and instead of getting something positive, it may be, I'm stressed, I'm in pain, or whatever the case may be. She says we're tired, we're worn out, we're weary, we have little or no energy. And the thing that I really love about this is that she points out the fact right here where she says, the demands and stresses in our lives, and she's speaking to us as women, but for our male viewers, just know that it's not just for women. You all are probably going through the same thing as well. But she says that, again, the stresses on our lives could be overwhelming. And this is the kicker here. It's the devil who tries to take advantage of us when we are most vulnerable. So if our stress level is taking a toll on our health, our happiness, also our effectiveness, she says it's time to de-stress before the devil drives you to distress. So the way we do this, and I'm going to leave you with this, is found in Philippians 4, 6, and 7. And most people know this as the do not be anxious scripture. And in the interest of time, I'm not going to read it. She actually has it written out in the actually, I am going to read it because I think this is the key here. And she has it in the Amplified version. And it says, do not fret or have any anxiety about anything, but in every circumstance and in everything by prayer and petition, which she says, which the word says are definite requests, with thanksgiving, continue to make your wants known to God, and God's peace shall be yours, that tranquil state of soul, assured of its salvation through Christ, and so fearing nothing from God and being content with its earthly lot of whatever sort that is, that peace which transcends all understanding shall garrison and mount guard over your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. And she ends with, now that's the way to de-stress. And I second that emotion. So that is my story, and I am sticking with it. And I'm going to pass it over to one of you two.
I second that emotion. Now I don't even know who sings that. I'm sure Miss Sherri may be able to tell us because that's one of the oldies but goodies that my mom used to listen to. No, that's good, and I love what you said about the rest and rejuvenate because I feel like I am pretty intentional about that. And so you guys know I've been doing my Orange Theory, which I hadn't been in a while, but I did return. Praise the Lord today, and I've been doing my sauna treatment. And so I was feeling a little down this morning, but I just felt in the back of my mind, I'm like, I need to go because it's going to make me feel better. And so I'm like a little selfish. I'm like, okay, God, can you have my angel be there? I call her my angel because I think I had shared with Alisha before. Like this lady, when I first signed up for Orange Theory, I think she has these beautiful blue eyes. And it's like she's like the blue in the background of our of our thing here. And it's like, it just looks like she's just piercing into like your soul. And so anyway, I just needed a hug this morning. And sure enough, when I rolled up at 7:29, Lori's like, Kadesha, you would think we known each other for 30 years, known each other for all of 3 months. And we hugged for at least 2 minutes, but it was like everything I needed because she's not normally there in the morning. She normally works a little bit later. So whenever I see her, it's always a plus. And so that was my answered prayer. And so anyway, got through the class on the treadmill. I stayed at base. So base is like, basically you don't go back to walking. So anyway, I made it to the sauna. And so in the sauna, on a few days ago, I was in there and a few people were in there. And the Lord knows I'm trying to use the sauna as my devotion time too. So I don't really want to be bothered. I don't normally speak, but I felt, a little bit convicted the last time when I was there. He's like, you got to be friendly to people too. So anyway, I'm in there. I had an extensive time in the sauna. This time I normally try a minimum of 20 minutes, but this time I actually end up doing over an hour. But so I had my quiet time and then, somebody came in. And so something just told me to ask her a question. And Lord behold, opened up a can of worms. And she started to, kind of talk about what you talked about, Alisha, some things that she was struggling with and how people in her circle are struggling with the same thing. And so, of course, I'm encouraging her and telling her, to get new thoughts. But it was it was just a nice moment in the sauna. I don't know. Anyway, it was all God. But apparently I needed it, she needed it. And so we were just having girl time in the sauna. So now I'm looking forward to next week or whenever I go again, like, what conversation am I going to have this time? So yeah, girl chats in the sauna. Maybe I'll have to do a live from there or something if my phone don't overheat. But So yeah, that was my new time in the sauna, actually being friendly and talking and not being to myself, and engaging in some good conversation. And you're right, Alisha. So many people are hurting. You would be surprised. So I guess we're here to be the light. So that's what we're doing. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. There are people who need that human interaction too, that relationship. Because with COVID, I'm telling you, it has disconnected so many of us, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how much you miss having that human interaction where someone can just listen to you or embrace you when you need it. So that was beautiful, and I'm glad she got what she needed. Y'all know I'm excited though, right? Because this week is part 2 of my Wonder Woman story, right? So last week I told y'all about my DVDs. My Wonder Woman DVDs that I got for Christmas, and that I'm on this binge watching journey of my Wonder Woman series. However, I told you that there was a second part to this gift, right? Oh, y'all ready? I don't think y'all ready. Wait. So first of all, I am learning to embrace my eccentric and eclectic personality. So it's just it is what it is, but it's a part of what makes me me. And so I love Wonder Woman, and my husband knows that. So remember, I told y'all about my Wonder Woman Reeboks. Bam! Y'all wasn't ready. Y'all weren't ready. Let me show you. Look at that.
Oh
Y'all
my
weren't
gosh,
ready.
help me.
Y'all were not ready, were you?
Look
Look
at
Oh,
them.
wow.
I have never seen them. Were they out before or? Oh my gosh. Okay, will you actually wear those or are they
Oh,
collectors?
absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Whenever and wherever I so choose. Yes.
Girl, you had me laughing so hard I almost hit stop camera.
Yes. So that was part 2. Wonder Woman DVDs and my Wonder Woman sneaks. Because y'all know I'm a sneakerhead too. So like I said, I'm just learning to accept my eccentric and eclectic personality. That's what makes me me. So any given moment, you might see me rocking a pair of Wonder Woman sneaks with a cute sweater and some big old post earrings. However, I decided to put it together. That's how it's gonna come out. So and to tell you, y'all know, I don't even have to say, but I will. I was so thrilled when I saw those shoes. I couldn't even believe it. And to me, I think it's just a thought that he went that far to think about what I would like and go and get it. So that was so special. And I was more this year, and every year really, I'm like so into waking up with the kids and seeing them open their gifts. So I didn't even think about what I was going to get. And and I was excited about my husband because we actually got skates together. I have a pair of skates, he have a pair of skates, and my skates actually light up the wheels. Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready.
I love skating.
Not ready.
Yeah.
They light up when you move, like listen, I'm finna give all them people something
Oh
on
my goodness.
the skating ring. But
Now you got all the skating songs going through my mind from being in the skating ring.
and it's nothing like a good skate mix, okay?
Oh
Even
my
if you
goodness.
can't skate, you try to bust some kind of move, at the expense of you might fall, but you
Look, even if you're on the side holding on and bouncing, you still gonna do something.
That was our thing. That was our thing. Like I told
Yeah.
y'all before, didn't I tell y'all the story where we had people in the trunk trying to get to the skating ring?
listen, by any means necessary, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. I actually passed a skating rink yesterday and I'm like, it's about that time again for us to roll up in there.
That's right.
Me and Mike, we went to there's one in Jersey and they have adult skate night. I can't remember if it's a Thursday or Friday night or something, but girl, yeah, skating, yeah, that's our thing.
It's fun. It's just, and it's carefree. You know, you get out there, and usually it's not about how well you can skate. It's just about
Right.
getting out there and moving, and that's what I like
Yeah.
about it. I'm
Mhm.
gonna learn me some moves because I've been watching these videos of people, and they be, you know, going around the
Uh-huh.
corner, lifting up their leg, and I might have to look. I might be the only
That
one
may
out
be me.
there.
That may be me. I don't know.
I might be the only one out there with a helmet and some elbow pads, knee pads,
Elbow and knee pads.
but I'm gonna get it done.
Oh my goodness gracious, my cheeks are hurting. Oh my gosh, I'm
Oh
laughing
gosh,
so
I
hard.
can't. No, please don't do that. Don't do that to the
Girl,
kids.
you know I don't care.
Don't do that to the kids.
Look, make sure the helmet lights up like the skates.
Right. You gotta
Oh, God.
coordinate, you know.
I can't. Oh
All
goodness
match.
help me. I love it.
But
Oh
that's my
wow.
story, fam. Sticking to it.
Wonderful.
Well, you be
Thank
careful
you.
out there because you be done woke up in the next morning and you let your whole body be hurting.
Stiff as a
Do
board.
that. I'll be taking a good old Epsom salt bath.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Hilarious. Oh gosh. That was so good. Thank you for sharing. Oh man. Woo. Look, I got my some more exercise today from laughing. Cool beans. All righty. Well, hopefully you all enjoy that and hopefully you share some stuff as well. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kadesha now.
Yes. Well, I know you thought we were the special guests, and I know you thought we were the comedians of the hour, but we do indeed have a special guest, and I'm really excited. Y'all know it don't take me but 2.5 seconds to get inspired, and so when I read that bio, I'm like, I'm not doing enough. I'm like, I need to do more. But I am so excited. I think so. I'm going to read the bio first, and then we'll do the video. And then we'll bring out our special guest. So, Mrs. I'm going to call her Captain in this one. Mrs. Captain Sherri D. Tull retired in October 2018 after 28 years of service, y'all, to the citizens of the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Woohoo to Wilmington. And I told you, over the course of her being working for the city of Wilmington, she just was going from rank to rank, from sergeant to master sergeant to lieutenant to captain. How amazing. And so Captain Tull's assignments as a captain were the commanding officer of the Office of Professional Standards and the commanding officer of the Criminal Investigations Division. Check this out, y'all. She's most proud to be the first African American female in the 128th year history of the Wilmington Department of Police to be promoted to the rank of captain. That's amazing. That's amazing. She also holds a Bachelor of Science in Psychology from Bowie State. Go ahead, Bowie. And a Master's of Science in Education from Wilmington University and a Master's of Science in Community Counseling, Wilmington University. She is, like I said, retired and serves as a school counselor at the Shortridge Academy. I think I went to Shortridge. In Wilmington, and a pre-licensed clinician with the Center of Child Development in Newark. She also currently serves as the president of the Delaware Noble Chapter, which is National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. So in addition to that, she also is a member of Zion Mount Carmel United Methodist Church, an active member of Delta Sigma Theta. I have a few Delta friends. And she's a mother of two and a grandmommy. So that to me is a busy person. You got grandkids, kids, and you retire, but not really. So still doing a lot for the community, it sounds. And so we're looking forward to bringing her out right after the video. Oh my goodness. Hello.
Hello. How are we?
Good, good. Look,
Good.
that picture that you provided, you look like you need to have your own talk show.
And no, I was looking for some headshots. She did a great job.
Yes, you look amazing. But thank you again
Thank you.
for
Absolutely.
stopping by the One Wisdom Talks and hanging with us and telling us about your journey and maybe inspiring somebody else to take the same journey. You know, sometimes I think we just need to see somebody that looks like us in a different profession.
Absolutely.
And so I'm pretty sure you're going to encourage a few people out there. So we're excited to have you and just wanted you to know that it is a privilege and an honor just to have you on here with us.
It is my privilege to be here. Thank you, ladies, for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as I was telling the guests earlier, we are celebrating, and I never get it right, but National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. So we wanted you to come on and tell us a little bit about your journey since you've served 28 years. That's a long time.
It's a lifetime.
So what made you say yes to this profession? Like what made you choose law enforcement as a career?
So when I'm from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and I worked at the University of Maryland East Shore in the police department. And so when I moved here, I became a dispatcher. You know, you tell the cars where to go, who to see, and then a lieutenant from HR came to me and asked me, was I interested? I'm like, You know, I'm a single mother, 2 kids. So I tried and I was able to get on. And I said, let me do this for 5 years. And then 5 turned to 10, 15, 20, and 28. So
Wow. So a dispatcher, to me, I would be so nervous.
of course I was.
I mean, I would think you feel like, you know, you got somebody's life in your hands. Like, what if I accidentally hang up? Or what if that's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure. So as a dispatcher, the call takers get the call, they push the button, they send it over to me. So
Okay.
then I tell the cars where to go. So
Okay.
that's right.
Okay. So that's a little less pressure, but still.
Yes, it is.
But even that, you know, that is maybe enlightening for somebody who may not knew that that's actually a career. That's something that you can actually do and still make a difference.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. It is a great career if that's what you desire to do.
Right.
Yep.
So what did a typical day look like for you? Which I'm sure no day was the same, but
No, it's never the same. So at the very beginning, it's you go to roll call in the morning, get your assignment. Either you're riding by yourself or you're riding with a partner, and you wait for the dispatcher to send you to different locations. You're usually out there about 10 hours during the day, and you can take a break, you meet the citizens, walk. And then at the end of the day, you come back and put all your equipment. When God blesses you to be safe on the street, you put all your equipment away. You go home, decompress, and come back and start the day. That's when you're a patrolman on the road. That's the normal day.
That decompress. What was some ways what did you do to decompress? Because you was coming home to some kids.
I was coming home to kids. Yep. Christian was about 5. Courtney was the Christian was about 7 and Courtney was about 2. So I didn't have time to decompress, to take care of them, homework, get to bed or dinner. So, but I had my sister, God rest her soul. She passed about 20 years ago, my twin sister. She was with me. And then my other sister, Carolyn Smalls, she lives here in Wilmington. So I had that village to help me out. And plus my church family helped me out as well too.
Wow. So one of the things, I mean, as I'm listening to the quote unquote typical day, there are a lot of things in there that I would consider personally a challenge. However, I'm going to ask you that question in terms of, you know, what would you say was the biggest challenge when it comes to law enforcement? But I also want to piggyback on that when you take into account being a female and an African American female at that. What would you say the biggest challenges are when you look at those entities?
I think the biggest challenge altogether during my time is you just being a woman, and then being an African American woman, and then being educated. They didn't really like that. So I didn't know for a long time that it was their job to make sure that they got me fired.
Wow.
Right. Long story short, when I was a rookie, one of my classmates started to beat this guy up who was in the back of my car, and the guy couldn't defend himself. He was handcuffed. So my partner started to beat him up. I had to pull him out of the car because people were videotaping. Long story short, the officer wound up getting fired, and I had to wear that like a scarlet letter. So no one wanted to work with me for a long time. So,
oh, my goodness.
not a great way to start your career.
No. Oh my gosh. Obviously, you overcame that because you persevered for 28 years. Like, what was that nugget that kind of allowed you to continue on?
My kids.
Mm.
And plus God. I know He wouldn't bring me this far to leave me. So it was a lot of prayer, a lot of tears. But when I got in trouble at that time, I could see the African American officers starting to surround me and take care of me and show me love and support. So that really got me through.
Wow. That's real. That is real. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, that is really personal. Oh, wow.
It is personal. And I'm still friends with a lot of them, but who have retired, but there are a couple who are still there. So I love them dearly.
And I mean, you make a good point about, the video cameras and the photos and all of this stuff that we have access to, probably even more so now than before. Absolutely. And I think just on both sides, we just have to tread lightly, because when we take those videos and those photos, sometimes we don't show the whole story, and that's not really fair to either party. So it's been a lot going on, as you know, and I'm sure you've been watching. And I'm glad you shared that too. Look, that made me like, dang, I'm glad I didn't choose that profession.
I looked at it from this standpoint of like, I cannot believe today on 2022 that I actually was a police officer. But I was really so glad that the Lord spared me. I didn't have to shoot anybody, and I never got shot. Wow. I got hurt, but I walked out unscathed, unhurt. God is good.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So as you're saying that and sharing that, and I was kind of, to be honest, I was a little surprised when you mentioned the availability of the videos back then. I would not have initially thought that would have been a thing. You kind of, at least in my thought, I'm thinking of that being newer now. But when you look at it, how has law enforcement evolved, since when you started to what you're seeing today?
Technology is ever evolving. We have evolved to now body-worn cameras. We've evolved to people being able to videotape you now when they couldn't do it before. You can't stop them, so they're not really violating your rights. To the people now who are able to call and talk about you and be anonymous when they talk about you. It's evolved. It is just really, and the thing of it is, you just never know who's watching. There are cameras everywhere. So it's evolved. It really is.
Wow.
Well, what did you like the most about your profession?
To be honest with you, I really like working in the community. It felt good to me for the people of the community to come to me and say, I really appreciate you. You're not like those other police officers. When I got arrested, you treated me like a human being. And so when I got outside on the street and the people could see the other crowd gathering around me, starting to harass me, those citizens protected me. And I still see some of them today, like, we miss you. Can you come back? I'm like, no, sorry. But I miss the citizens, and I miss the camaraderie that myself and some of the other officers had when I was there.
Wow. See, there goes that protection again.
Now, I don't miss all of them.
Right. Right.
Wow, this is powerful. I am like so enjoying this. It's really opening my eyes up to some things. But what is one thing when you think about, because you mentioned the public and being able to, deal with the community. What is one thing that you wish the public knew about law enforcement officers or the industry, period?
What I wish people would remember is that we are human. We are parents, we're grandparents, we may be single, we may be married. We have issues just like you. You don't like it when I come to your house and disrespect you and take you out of handcuffs. We don't like being disrespected. I made it my purpose, Captain Tull, treat you the way I want to be treated. The way I talk to you ladies now is the way I talk to people, even when I was locking them up. Now, we didn't always joke, but I treated him and her like a human being. Sometimes they don't get that. But even now with the George Floyd and the Aubrey and the other officers that's been killed, you give us a bad rap for those who are good in this profession. So I just wish people would remember that we have bad days too, but also remember this. In every profession, there are bad apples and bad seeds. Some people go the wrong way, some people go the right way.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you for how you want to be as an officer and how you want to be remembered.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And I think you made a very good point. Everybody has a story. The one being arrested and the one doing the arresting. So
Absolutely.
it's like if we could just take the time to just learn about each other, have a conversation with them. I remember one of the ladies that support our ministry, she was at a store or something, a Walgreens or some type of store like that, where a young man was being arrested. And she felt, God just wanted him to not resist. So she, walked up to him. She said, "Police officer, can I just tell him something?" And she said, "Stop resisting." And he stopped, and then she went on to kind of give him a encouraging prophetic word, like, your grandmom or something that's counting on you or taught you better or something crazy. But it's like she saw him for who he was. And even though he was in the wrong, she still wanted to give him some source of encouragement so that he wouldn't end up in a position that could have been a lot worse, And I think, sometimes our community, we don't do well with authority always. So I think sometimes that it's just a gap there for whatever reason. But it's like, this person is in position, they're a professional, just go with the flow. So yeah, everybody.
But they don't always see it like that. By the time a police officer like myself gets to interact with them, they've already dealt with the bad police officers and they've already been mistreated. And so they've got that misconception that everybody's like that. And it takes a long time for me to get through that barrier. Sometimes I don't. Just let them have it. Say whatever it is you got to say.
So how can the community, how can we support law enforcement? How can we show appreciation for, those who are really like sacrificing their lives? Like, you don't know if you're going to come home to your family. So how can we honor that?
That's a good question. First, you need to learn about what we do and why we do what we do. I used to run a citizen academy, and the citizens would come in and they learn everything that we did. We just don't drive around in a car. There's paperwork, detectives, victim services, human resources. There's so many things behind the scene that you don't see. Community relations, all kinds of things that we used to do. So get to know your local police officer. Join the Citizens Police Academy. Go and talk to the chief to find out what his vision is. And the other thing I like is we start a lot of neighborhood watch. We're just not there to police. We're also there to help be the eyes and ears of the police, not to get involved, but to be the eyes and the ears of the police. And don't judge us all the same. We're not. We're not.
You said
all
something.
You lovely ladies are different, but you're all working for the same purpose.
That's true. That's true. You mentioned the Citizens Police Academy. Could you speak
Yes.
on that? What exactly is that?
So Citizens Police Academy is just what it says. You put out an application, you run the background to make sure the person was legit. They come in. My class was about for 2 months. For one night a week, they come in and I bring in different divisions with internal affairs, detectives, the vice squad, K9, forensics, victim services, HR, my walking officers, and they would tell what they do. And a lot of times people were like, wow, we just thought you rode around in the cars arresting people. No. And then at the end, they actually graduated and gave them a certificate. Now, that doesn't mean they're police officers. That just means they learn about what we do. And then you can take that back to your community and explain what it is that we do, why we do what we do. So it was great. It was great.
That's
It
now,
empowered.
do they still do that now? Is that
It's not here. They actually do it in the county.
wow? I
Newcastle
mean, that
County
sounds
as well.
awesome.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
was
it's
great. I loved
bridging
it.
that gap.
Yeah, I loved it. It was
Oh my
great.
goodness. I love how you put on the end. You're not a police officer because some people
Right.
they got that little certificate. They're like, look, I done been through. Like, no,
No, sorry.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Well, you know, we have all kind of people in our viewing audience. Can you speak to the person or persons who may be interested in law enforcement? You know, what piece of advice would you give that male or that female?
First, get a college degree. Just in case this profession doesn't work out for you, you have something else to fall back on. Learn about the whatever agency that you're going to apply to. Because when you're going to be interviewed, they're going to ask you what we do, research them, do ride-alongs. What they do is you submit an application, they check your background, they put you in an officer, and you ride with that officer for the shifts. Now, you can't get out when something jumps off, but you get a feel for what their night or what their day is. And most of all, really decide this is what you want to do. You know, me, everybody laugh at me when I say it. I kind of fell into this profession. It wasn't what I wanted to do. My dream was to be a child psychologist, but the Lord knew where I needed to be, and that's where I was. So learn about your police department, apply, but get a college degree just in case this is not what you want to. And lastly, discern who's going to be for you and who's not going to be for you when you get on the inside, and you can tell. Trust me.
Powerful words of wisdom. Wait, I have to say this. I was chuckling when you said, don't get out when something breaks off. I was laughing
Yes.
like, you need to tell me twice. I'd be on the floor. They're like, where is Alisha? So you didn't have to worry about telling me not to get out.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
They were like, man, we don't think this cut for you.
I'm like, take me home.
Look, oh, you get out, you run down the street. Where you going? Come back.
Exactly. That would be me.
It wouldn't be like that.
Gee,
You'll
that
be
is
fine.
funny.
You'll be fine.
That's funny. That's awesome. You know, I mean, because we empower the youth from time to time, and we just want to give them options, you know.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you just need to see that there's something else there different than what you may always see on television, and nothing wrong with what you see on television, but there's some other career opportunities as well. So this was really good. This was good. So what is next for you now that you're retired? I know you're well, pseudo retired, it seems like. But so what's next for you?
So when I was going through the police department, I made it a point to get my master's, and I did the DARE program years ago. Loved it. That's what gave me a taste of being a school counselor. So I got that first master's, and then I like mental health therapy, and that's what my second master's in. And I did that to set myself up when I retired. So God finally blessed me to become a school counselor. So I'm here with the kindergarten through second grade. Glutton for punishment. But actually, I was too young to sit home. I was 57 when I retired. And I just had a lot of love and a lot of drive. And I decided to come out and work. So right now, I think my next endeavor is to become a licensed professional counselor. That's something I can do on my own on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And then rest, as Christian would say, rest.
And have fun with your grandbabies.
Absolutely. Well, one, he's 13.
Oh,
He's
wow.
not a baby. But the little ones are 5. So I have fun with them.
Oh, wow. Still sounds like a full life to me.
It is a full life. God is good. He is so good. He's so good.
Well, we are so excited that you stopped by because I know you have something to do this evening. So we're so appreciative. We thank you so much for tuning in and letting us interview you and telling us all the crazy stories. I'm sure we have not heard half of what was going on.
Oh my God.
No, just one last thing before I leave you.
Sure.
The most challenging thing for me in my 10th year, I was diagnosed with cancer, and I was just about ready to leave. You know, I had the surgery and the chemo, and I was like, Lord, I'm ready to leave. But every time I thought I was ready, he would like, not yet. And he would promote me. So I've been a cancer survivor 22 years. God is wonderful. Yay. So, you know, other than I fear that more than being on the street.
Wow.
It took a while, but I'm still here. Praise God. So they come with challenges, but take care of yourself.
Amen.
Okay, y'all heard it. The viewing audience, you heard Alisha started with rest and rejuvenation, and you hear Miss Captain Tull telling us to take care of ourselves. We only get one body. That's it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's it.
One body.
That was so good. Look, we're gonna have you as an honorary member on Wisdom on the Wall.
Hey, I'm ready. But I thank you. My heart is full. Thank you, Miss Naomi, Miss Alisha, Miss Kadesha. My heart is full. I really appreciate the opportunity. I'm a very humble person. So when I found out, I was like, you know, I'm a very humble person. But, you know, the Lord did this for me and I have to share. So I thank you, ladies, for all that you do.
And that's a phenomenal testimony that you never had to shoot anybody. And you said you never, did you say you've been shot at and never been shot at?
But never got hurt.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
That is amazing. And now you got Alisha, we're not doing this tonight.
She crying. Oh,
well, you must have touched a chord when you said, you know, take care of ourselves. Because, you know, we're all learning that. We're learning and we're trying to learn while we're young. But, you know, we're all evolving. So we appreciate you.
Phenomenal
well,
women.
Enjoy your dinner and eat for us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, have a good night. And we'll be in touch for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. You guys be blessed and I'll be praying for you.
Okay. Thank you.
We as well.
Have a good night.
Amen.
Wow. You don't tell me what God can't do. 28 years on the street.
Powerful. And each time she tried to go, he's like, no. And he will promote her. Like, ain't that God? You know?
She's truly blessed for success. That topic was for her.
That sure was. It sure was. Wow.
Powerful. Oh my goodness gracious. Love it.
Now I'm thinking, like, do I want to go try and be a police officer?
No, that would be a no for me.
No, that'd be a no.
I'm too busy policing my own kids in my own house.
Look, I can barely watch the shows. I'm like, what happened? Tell me what happened, Mike.
I'm getting my police experience right now. And when you get the kids, you're going to get your experience too.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
God brought her through that career and then brought her through cancer.
Yes. That was powerful testimony. wasn't planning on shedding a tear or two. It's like, woo.
It happens.
Oh,
It happens sometimes.
yeah. So
I love it. I love it. Well, we have a little bit more time. Yeah, we got time for our.
Yes, we have time for. Well, I can't believe we actually have time. You know, we've been running out of it like for the past couple shows, but hey, y'all already know what this segment is about. We get to tell you something good that we heard or seen that we want to share with all of you.
Well, I think this one was so appropriate. What were we about to say, Naomi?
No, I was like, y'all want me to just play the video and then talk about it? How y'all want to roll?
Well, I'll say this. Let me say, this one came up in honor of National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. It actually happened on that day. So it's definitely appropriate. And so roll that tape.
In the nick of time. Video shows a dramatic rescue in LA. Officers pulled a pilot out of a plane that had crashed onto the train tracks just moments before the train smashed into it. The pilot was taken to the hospital for treatment. No other injuries were reported. The LAPD posted, as you can see there, the officers displayed heroism and quick action, saving that pilot's life.
What was the...
I know when I saw that, I was just like, you know what? It takes a special person to be in law enforcement. I mean, because, you know, when you see the whole, we just showed you a little clip. We, you know, didn't want to show you the whole thing in the interest of time. But, you know, everybody, just like the officers, just like everybody else, they heard the train coming and you could hear how close it was. But for them to still say, you know, this is what I signed up for. We're going to get this man out of this helicopter that has crashed on the train tracks. That takes a special person, because I really can't honestly say that Alisha would be saying, I signed up for this, let me go in. I don't. That's why I said I'm not cut out for that. So I love when Captain Sherri said that, you know, you need to really determine if this is the industry you want to be in, because it is your sacrificing. You know, anything could have happened. Just like she said, in the nick of time, some little second of a stumble or whatever, and that's their lives as well. You know, so it's important that we take the time out to appreciate the law enforcement officers out there. So thank you all for those who may be watching.
Yeah. And for all who do it right. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. Period. That's a period.
Period. That part. I always say it's important to teach children young about law enforcement. We didn't get a chance to talk about that tonight, but you know, those of the children who are fortunate enough to have parents and loved ones who are adults in their lives, have those conversations early. Teach them the difference between law enforcement who abuse their power and law enforcement who really use it for what it is, and that is to protect and serve the public. And they learn early. The children are so resilient. They're smart. They absorb. So teach them early.
And that conversation takes on another level when you're dealing with, you know, our young boys. And I don't envy you with having to have that conversation, you know, because it becomes another level and saying what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, rules of engagement. That's really what it is. You're teaching them rules of engagement. If this is to happen to you, what do you do? And that's a conversation you have early on. I didn't want to have to, especially in the light of all that was going on with law enforcement, but it's necessary because children younger and younger are being tagged or confronted. So yeah.
Bless your heart.
Good. And who was it? Is it Sandra Bullock? I forget which one.
Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland. Oh, you talking about the movie, or you talking about the young woman who was confronted by officers?
I'm talking about I'm talking about the actress.
Oh, okay. Sandra Bullock, my favorites. Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's her. So, but somebody was just on the red table talk with Jada, and she had adopted children of a different race, and one of those children was a young Black male. And so she had to have the conversation with him. This is what society does, and so we want to prepare you and empower you, and so it just is what it is. And I think even if we don't have children, maybe there's someone in our community that we can teach and talk to, because they do need to learn to respect authority. And when my husband leaves, I'm like, look, the goal is you to come back home alive. That's always the goal.
That's right.
That's right.
Period.
Yeah.
So whatever you got to do, and whatever, if you have to refrain, keep them lips from moving, then the goal is to come back alive. But me personally, I've had some good engagements with police officers, because Lord knows I'll be rushing to my appointments and to get to my clients. Jesus, one, he pulled me over. I think he was laughing at me because I had stuff everywhere. Got my shoes, got my whole life in the car. I'm ready to go show a house, sir. and he gave me grace. He gave me grace. So this it's been working out for me. But like Miss Sherri said, there's always bad apples, but there sure is some good ones too.
That's right.
I know that's right. Look, I like, similar to you, Kadesha, I've had my share of good ones. And it's so funny because as you were saying that, it made me think of one time that I was pulled over. I was trying to get to a client. This has been some years ago, and it was actually on Good Friday, because I remember leaving church from Good Friday. Was they did a noontime service, and I was leaving from there trying to get to my client's house, and I didn't realize how fast I was going, and I didn't realize that it was a cop car behind me, because it wasn't a typical cop car. It had to be like a Ford Escort or some small little car. So I'm going, and next thing you know, I look in the rearview mirror, and the driver, he's like going like this, like telling me, move over. And I'm like, oh my Lord. So I pull over, and I don't know why, but when I get pulled up, I start crying. I don't know what it is. I just started crying, and he had the big old hat on, and he looked like, oh God, why did I pull this one over? It was, and I couldn't stop crying. He was like, ma'am, I need you to calm down. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was like losing my breath. He was just like, oh God. He said, look, this is what I'm going to do. He's like, unfortunately, I do have to give you a ticket because I called it in, and I was going like 20 something miles or some crazy number above. He was like, I can't just let you go. He said, but what I'm going to tell you is, go ahead to court. I'm not even going to show up. He probably like, I don't ever want to see her again a day in my life. He said, I will not show up. And he said, you won't have to worry about anything. And I was like, okay, thank you. And sure enough, I went to court. He didn't show up, and everything worked out. So and that got me out. I was so, every time I think back, I could just see this look. He had both of his hands off of the steering wheel, like, move over. Like, I know he was telling me off. I was gone. It was like,
he didn't want to have the speed chase you down the road.
I think that he was. He said that's why he was mad, because he was chasing me. And then when I started crying, he's thinking like, oh God, like he was so mad at me, but he couldn't stay mad because I'm over here snotting and crying. He's just like,
I'm sure they see a lot. I'm sure they see a lot, And I remember being pulled over one time, and I didn't know which side to go because I'd never been pulled over before. I'm like, where do I go? I don't even know how to do this. Do I go on the shoulder? Do I go to the right? Girl, a hot mess. Anyway, we are running out of time, and I do want to share this because I feel like it is fitting to Mrs. Tull. And Tull, I have a Tull, Captain Tull, and Mrs. Sherri. That's what we're gonna say. But I want to share this scripture, and we can get out of here. One that we're pretty familiar with, I'm sure. But it says from 1 Chronicles of 4, 9, and 10, it says, now Jabez was more honorable than his brothers. And when I think of her and see her, she's more honorable than some of her brothers and sisters in the academy. And his mother had named him Jabez, saying, because I bore him in pain. And Jabez called out to the God of Israel, if only you would bless me and enlarge my territory. May your hand be with me and keep me from harm, so that I will be free from pain. And God granted the request of Jabez. That is her in a nutshell. God kept her 28 years and kept her free from cancer. And we just declare that it will continue to be so. So we are just thankful for you tuning in. We hope that you either laughed, shed a tear, did something with your emotions. We hope that we was able to just empower you tonight, each and every night. And so as always, this episode of When Wisdom Talks was brought to you by Wisdom on the Wall Inc. and Be Inspired Global. We're excited to see you next week, same time. In between time, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay in faith. Have a good night, y'all.
See ya.